Hey there, welcome to today's Explainer. I am genuinely so glad you're here with us today. Look, think of me as your supportive older friend for the next few minutes because we're going to talk about something literally every single one of us struggles with, especially when you're first stepping out, navigating your own independence. We're diving into this fantastic framework from Paula Williams' book, The Drama-Free Guide to Life. It's basically a young adult's guide to conflict, communication, and self-respect. Adulthood is thrilling, right? Making your own choices. But wow, it brings a whole new set of relational challenges. So today we're unpacking what Paula calls the architecture of your personal peace.
So I want you to really ask yourself this. Where do you often say yes when you actually desperately want to say no? Take a second with that. I mean, maybe it's taking on an extra shift at work when you are completely burned out. Or, agreeing to go out with friends when you just need a night in to recharge on the couch. Or honestly, just agreeing with an opinion you don't even hold to avoid a fight. If you do this, I see you. I want to validate exactly where you're at. People-pleasing is so incredibly common, but man, is it exhausting. When you're just starting out in life, you want to be liked. You want to be the easygoing one. But constantly saying yes when your brain is screaming no, yeah, that is a literal fast track to burnout.
Section 1. Redefining Healthy Boundaries. Okay, let's dive straight into Chapter 5, which kicks off by tearing down this massive misconception we all seem to carry about what a boundary actually is.
So here's the thing. We often carry around this idea that boundaries are about controlling other people, but the reality? Completely different. It is simply about deciding what behavior you will accept. This completely shifts the whole paradigm. If you have ever felt guilty for setting a boundary, well, consider this your official permission slip to let that guilt go. Setting a boundary is not about bossing your friends around, right? It's not about dictating what your roommate or your partner can and cannot do. It is entirely about defining your own limits. It's you saying, hey, this is the line for what I'm comfortable with, and this is what I'll accept in my space. It's an internal standard, not some external demand.
And when you establish those limits, you're doing something absolutely vital. According to Williams, healthy boundaries protect 4 very specific things: your peace, your time, your energy, and your self-respect. These 4 elements, they are the actual architecture of your personal peace. They are the absolute foundation of a healthy, independent life, and they desperately need your active protection. Because, let's be real, no one else is going to protect your time or your energy for you. If you don't build a framework to safeguard your peace and your self-respect, the chaos of the world is just going to walk right in and totally deplete them.
Section 2. Protecting your personal peace. So how does this actually play out in our everyday lives when we do, or maybe when we don't, use these protective tools?
Now, what's really interesting about this is the profound contrast here. Without boundaries, resentment grows, but with boundaries, relationships become healthier. We so often stay quiet because we think, oh, I'm just keeping the peace. But keeping the peace by swallowing your own discomfort doesn't actually create peace. It just breeds resentment. You start feeling bitter toward the person asking things of you, even though, hey, you're the one who said yes. On the flip side, standing your ground and clearly communicating what you will accept, that is what truly makes relationships healthier. It creates honesty. People know exactly where they stand with you.
Take a breath and just look at this word, no. It is a complete sentence. And according to Williams' text, this single 2-letter word can sometimes be the absolute most respectful thing you can say. It's respectful to yourself, obviously, because you're honoring your limits. But, it's also deeply respectful to the other person, because you're offering them your actual, authentic truth rather than some fake, resentful yes.
And this brilliantly illustrates the next level of self-advocacy. Sometimes the absolute bravest thing you can say is simply, that doesn't work for me. Just imagine the courage it takes to look at a situation, maybe it's a last-minute schedule change at work or a plan a friend made without even asking you, and calmly state that it doesn't work for you. You don't need to give a 5-minute excuse. You don't need to over-apologize. Saying this simple phrase, that is a massive victory for your self-respect.
Section 3. Navigating the fear. Now, I hear you. Knowing all this logically is one thing, but actually doing it, that's a whole different ballgame. It's genuinely scary to tell someone no, especially if you aren't used to it. Your heart might race, your palms might sweat. I want you to know that it's completely 100% normal.
Paula Williams asks a really critical question here. What am I afraid might happen if I set a boundary? Just sit with that for a second. What are those worst-case scenarios playing on a loop in your head? Are you afraid a friend is going to abandon you? Are you terrified your boss will think you're lazy? Or maybe you're just terrified of a full-blown shouting match. By bringing those specific fears out of the shadows and just naming them, they actually start to lose a little bit of their power over you.
But listen, we can't just stay in the fear.
we've got to pivot toward hope. Ask yourself, how would a healthy boundary actually improve my life? I really want you to visualize the exact personal peace you'd gain by being courageous here. Imagine the absolute relief of having your Friday night entirely to yourself because you finally said, hey, that doesn't work for me. Imagine the energy you'd have if you weren't constantly managing other people's crises. Picture that improved, healthier life, because that is exactly what you are fighting for.
Section 4. Your Boundary Action Plan. Let's take all this incredible advice from Paula Williams and turn it into a concrete, practical plan that you can literally start using today.
First things first, mentally identify just one specific area in your life right now that needs a little bit of reinforcement. The text asks you to name a boundary you need to strengthen. Now, don't try to overhaul your entire life all at once, okay? Just pick one single thing. Is it a dynamic with a roommate who is always borrowing your stuff without asking? Or maybe a boss who keeps texting you on your days off? Or a family member who just asks way too many intrusive questions? Lock in on that one specific boundary right now.
So how do we actually implement this? Well, step 1 is to identify one boundary, which we just did. Step 2 is to practice it this month. This comes straight from Williams' reflection exercises, but I want to take it a step further and suggest turning this into a simple daily habit. Every single morning, just check in with yourself. Ask, how am I going to honor this specific boundary today? Make it a daily practice of protecting your peace, your time, your energy, and your self-respect.
And that brings us to the end of our explainer today. But before you go, I want to leave you with this final, incredibly empowering question derived from everything we've learned from Paula Williams. Will you let resentment grow, or will you choose the courage to build healthier relationships? The choice is entirely yours, and you absolutely have the strength to make the right one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me to explore this vital architecture of personal peace. Now go out there, protect your energy, and start building those healthier relationships. Catch you next time.